Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of BrainSpill, the series where we let it all out, everything that's happened this week that's bottled up in our minds, we let it spill out. Cool. Alright, yes. So quick little note here at the beginning of the video. I just wanted to say thank y'all for your support on this series so far. Every single episode has been getting more and more views, which is encouraging. You know, I said this on an Instagram story earlier this week. Views don't matter to me at all, especially as like a smaller creator. I really don't care much about however many views I'm getting on a video, because honestly, as long as I'm just having fun doing what I'm doing, then it's good enough for me. But it is encouraging still to see that people enjoy it and that people like it. So yeah, you know, before we get into everything, let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about in certain videos. If there's anything that you think I should talk about, please leave comments down below, because I would love to talk about some of the stuff that y'all want to hear from me. So anyway, moving into the actual BrainSpill episode. So everyone, first, before we get into some of the craziness that happened this week with the world, the internet, I don't know, just in general that happened around, I want to give a quick little life update. So as y'all saw in my video from last Sunday, I started doing Doordash. So, you know, that's been an experience doing that. It's been better this week. Last week really wasn't as productive or anything, but this week it's been a little bit better. My main complaint from this week, and I was tweeting about this week because it has happened multiple times, is I am genuinely convinced that people don't know or don't understand how the delivery process works, how the apps work necessarily when you're ordering food, because there are options where you can choose, you know, leave at my door, hand it to me, you know, whatever. I have had multiple instances this week where people were like, hand a customer in the, you know, delivery part, and then they just actually don't want it handed to them, you know, which is kind of weird. And the first time that it happened, this customer, I guess I'll call them, messaged me after I delivered their food, after I was knocking on their door like 3 times waiting for them, because they said, hand it to me, hand it to customer. So I was waiting to do that. So after I left it at their door, they texted me, and because you can message people, I guess, after you deliver food, I don't know, it's weird. And they messaged me saying, like, I work from home, you know, I couldn't answer the door. I was waiting for the app to say that the food had been delivered, you know, and then like passive aggressively ended the message with, you know, contactless delivery means that you can leave it at my door. And I was like, yeah, oh, I know. And so I responded to them and was just like, listen, the app said, hand to customer. So that's what I was waiting to do. Have a good day. And that was it. So, I don't know. That was just one of my frustrations this week with it. And, you know, I battle with whether or not I should just leave all the food at people's doors and not even try to hand it off to them. But then there's the issue that some people just aren't physically able to actually bend down and get their food, you know? That's kind of a big problem. So, I don't know. That's just my dilemma from this week. Such a big issue, I know. But your boy's making money. Yeah. Okay. Moving into the bigger general world life updates. Not life updates, just updates. So first thing that we're going to talk about is Gabbie Hanna and like her music video, and some poetry, her poetry specifically, and just some like internet drama that was going on with her, because she has been this week acting up, just acting up. So if you don't know who Gabbie Hanna is, I don't blame you. But she is another internet personality who I honestly haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen anything from her in a really long time. But yeah, she's been around for a long time making videos on the internet, and she even makes music and has a book or two about like with poetry. So earlier this week, apparently something had happened where BB Rexa, a musician, a singer, released a music video, and then like Gabbie's fans flooded her comments and were like, this looks like Gabbie's music video or whatever, you know, had similar designs, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Gabbie was like, oh, this probably, I don't care. Like, this probably wasn't even her decision or anything. Not a big deal. So that was fine, you know, no real beef there. But then later in the week, I think maybe the next day or something, Gabbie Hanna seemed to break down. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't following super closely, but I think somebody made a video on the internet just like criticizing Gabbie's poetry, and she didn't like that, I guess. You know, even though she's an artist, she didn't like the fact that somebody had an opinion or could critique her writing. And so, I don't know, I think then she like took to Twitter and started freaking out, or I shouldn't even say freaked out. I don't know if that's even right, but she was acting up. She was acting up a little bit, and I have to be honest with y'all, I had never read any of her poetry before, but let's see if I can find some real quick. Because there were some specific ones that really opened my eyes, I guess. And yeah, it's this one right here that somebody had posted on Twitter and was like making fun of. And you know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because everybody has their own individual creative expression, and you know, who am I to say that you don't know how to do that, or you aren't doing that right in the right way or something, you know? But just listen to this. This poem is called Relative. Time is relative. Beauty is relative. Family is relatives. I mean, like, how can you write that and genuinely like put that in a book? How can a publisher put that in a book and be like, yes, this is revolutionary, this is changing the times, this is what people want? I mean, it's just like, you can't even really call that poetry, you know? And I don't want to be mean or anything, but you're literally just taking like two statements. I mean, there's like just three statements, and all she did was like off-center them, and that doesn't make it poetry. That doesn't make it poetry. They're just like, what do they even have to do with each other, you know? And then she also had, I saw another poem where she had, it was called like filler or something, and she straight up just said like, yep, you know, some poems in this book I wrote because I had creative passion and I was inspired, and some I wrote just because I needed to fill some space for this book. And it's like, that is not meta, that is not cool, that is not interesting to people to read, to be like, oh wow, she really didn't care enough about, you know, what she was writing, she's just filling space. Like that's not, do you think really like big artists, like big poetry writers just write things just to fill up space, just like half-assed? Like that just, no, that's not what you do. So I don't know, it's just frustrating because, you know, she can get away with doing something like this, something that's clearly like a cash grab. She can get away with doing it because she's a bigger artist. She can self-publish. I think this book might be self-published, I don't know. She can get away with these kinds of things and probably make like money off of it, whereas there are real artists, really small artists who struggle to try and get their work acknowledged and, you know, sold to people and to like turn it into an actual career. So I don't know, I don't want to judge too hard, but it is kind of sucky. Anyway, that's all on her. That's all on Gabbie Hanna. The next thing that I want to talk about, which I'm sure maybe some of you know, is Jeff Wittek and his documentary series. So if you've been following with the internet at all in the past few months, you know, David Dobrik is pretty much kind of like done. He's like off the internet for the most part. And his group of people, the vlog squad that used to like all film together and everything, have all kind of, I don't know, they've been all over the place. I don't even know. I don't watch any of them really. But there's a new kind of drama coming out, sort of. I don't know if it's drama. I don't know if you can really call it drama, but just like Jeff Wittek, who was a part of the Vlog Squad group, it's been coming out. He announced that he was going to come out with a documentary series about an injury he got while they were filming some videos for David and the Vlog Squad and everything. And yeah, I don't know, it seemed, whoops, sorry, there was something in front of my eye. It seemed like, I don't know, I was just thrown off a little bit by it because it just doesn't quite make sense to me that he would need to make a whole documentary series about this, you know, one event that really feels like it could just be, you know, summarized in one video, just sitting down and being like, this is what happened to me. Don't, you know, here's what I learned. Please don't follow my example. Be better than me, you know? But instead, he's kind of like turning it into this whole documentary series where like the first episode was all about like his life, where he grew up in New York, his parents, the fact that how he like learned about being a barber and selling drugs and stuff, which, you know, personally, I just don't like that. What does that have to do with the story? You know, like you're setting up yourself, but like, what does that matter? You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe people really care to learn about that. And, you know, he seems like a cool person. He seems like a cool guy. And I'm not trying to, you know, say anything bad about him really, but I just don't, it just feels a little weird to me that he's setting up, he's making this whole documentary series about this one thing and including possibly, I mean, I haven't even seen, like, the full documentary isn't even out yet. You know, he's releasing it in episodes. And the first, I don't know, something about it just seems so strange, and also that it's just kind of like trying to generate views and stuff because he knows that people are gonna want to know about it. But you know, I really don't want to like hear about how somebody had was so bored with his life in New York or wherever he was living that he had to turn to selling drugs because he wanted to make so much money and never have to worry about money and, you know, all this. As somebody who has personal connections to, or a personal like understanding of drugs and like how they affect people, not something that I want to hear about, not something that I really find of value, you know? And yeah, I don't know. And then, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens with the rest of the documentary, I guess, but not doing great. Not my favorite so far, but you know, we'll see. Okay. Well, anyway, those were kind of the bigger, well, not really. Actually, those were smaller, to be honest. They were smaller things, kind of just interesting topics to talk about for a quick second. But I want to end this on kind of a positive note because there was some very good news in the trial of George Floyd this week. We found out that the officer who was being tried, is that right? Being tried? I don't know. They found him guilty on all accounts in the trial against for George Floyd. They found him guilty, and that's awesome. That's good. Yeah, you know, that is just kind of like the first little step of justice that we can get for people who have experienced this and are experiencing this and are still going through it. But we also have to remember that it doesn't end there. You know, somebody tweeted out earlier this week that justice would have been George Floyd still being alive, as opposed to, you know, just convicting a murderer. So, you know, we've still got work to do, but this is a great first step. Yeah, I don't know, just good job to the world, and thank you to everybody who backed the decision, to all the jurors who saw the right decision. So, anyway, that's kind of all that I wanted to say on that. Yeah, so that kind of brings us to, sorry, squeak. So that kind of brings us to the end of this week's BrainSpill episode. Thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what else you want to hear me talk about. Also, what other kind of videos you want to see from me. What else you want to see me do. Let me know down below, and I will try to make it happen. Okay? Also, don't forget to like and share with a friend because it helps support my channel, and I really appreciate it if you do that. Yeah, and I think that is everything for this episode, and I will see y'all in Sunday's video.